Got it.
Right. Good stuff. So welcome to, this is my episode 3 of the Bring It Coaching podcast. And it's been a good run so far. I had some special guests on the last 2. And for this episode, we're going to be covering, in particular, squatting is something I'm going to be covering in this one. And none other, we've got the main man himself, Aaron Hopkins, in the building, joining me for this episode 3 podcast. Who is
Hi, everyone.
How you doing? You good, Aaron?
Yeah, sweet, man. Can't complain. Thanks for having me.
Good stuff, man. Well, from what I know of you, you're a powerlifter. Is that correct? And you also compete, in the UK. Anywhere else besides the UK, or just literally just within the UK for now?
Yeah, just in the UK at the moment, man. Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant, good stuff.
Say
again, sorry.
I wish it was elsewhere.
I was going, no. Well, you're gonna. I hope that's one of your goals, and that's something that we can discuss later on and talk about that. But yeah, Aaron, you're a powerlifter. You're also a personal trainer, coach, own your own studio as well, I'm aware.
Yeah.
And I thought I'd get you on this episode today to talk more about your experience in training. We'll talk more into depth about powerlifting itself and the sport. But more in particular, I do want to cover the sort of exercise that's been a staple for me, that's helped me in my own training, is the squat. So hopefully we can talk more about that as well. And that will hopefully give our audience and some of my members and hopefully your community a bit more of an insight into performing a squat and improving in that area. So, yeah, man, just tell me more about yourself. I mean, let's start with a fun fact, actually. Give me one fun fact. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I'm going to do it. One fun fact about yourself, man.
I love skateboarding. I took it up recently. Well, I've had a skateboard for most of my life, just to ride around on, but I actually started doing a bit more like riding parks in the last year. So
nice.
Ride a skateboard, man.
Wicked. Because that's something that in my experience, skateboarding, awful. Tried to get on one, couldn't do it, and then that was it for me, man. But yeah, skateboard is one of those things where you sort of, in my experience and what I've seen, is more like the teenagers going through that. So what made you do that? What made you pick that up?
So I've always had like a cruiser skateboard, just like riding around on. I just enjoyed it.
Okay.
And then one of the guys I know from the gym was like, "Oh, do you want to come to this class, like a skateboarding class for over 30s? It's actually called the Silver Surfers. Tic Tac Skate School, actually. If you can look them up, they're really good. And yeah, the first class, I was like, oh man, I'll see what it's all about. I probably won't carry on. And then that first class, man, I was just hooked. I was like, yeah, this is it.
Nice. So you took up one of your old school, relived your passion, yeah?
Yeah. Well, when I was a kid, I used to like rollerblade because I thought like that was a cooler thing to do, but clearly it wasn't.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny, man. So yeah, let's just, now that you just mentioned that, let's go back to the childhood. Like, what was your experience like growing up when you was in your teens or even younger, just around? Was you heavily involved in keeping active in sport?
I played rugby since I was 9.
Okay.
So I played like semi-professional rugby till I was like 26. Did a bit of judo in between that. So I did have a brown belt in judo. I can't remember when I got that. Maybe I was like 20 or something. But yeah, I've always been active, like run marathons, and
nice.
Before powerlifting, I did some ultra marathons, and
wow.
I did 40 miles in one day once. That was quite fun.
Okay.
But yeah, like mainly like just I guess like goals and targets. I just kind of I like to go to like the extremes of things, like see actually how far can I push this, or like I was never going to be a good runner, but I thought, you know what, let's just try and have a little go. And it was quite fun. I wouldn't do it again, but it was fun.
So you actually, so it sounds like you've got quite a bit of different sort of sports under your under your wing. So, okay, you talk about drive there. What at earliest age can you remember that you had that sort of attitude to try things and just give it your all and go to that extreme?
Oh God knows. I reckon I don't really remember it that much, but I always remember at school I used I always remember like my mum saying like there's this one kid at school, we used to just race each other every day. or like 100 meters, or like most sports days and stuff like that. And I was in like primary school.
Yeah.
So like he was rapid, but like I guess it's just that, and I don't know.
Did you have like older siblings that you'd compete against, or younger ones, or?
Yeah, my brother was never really into sport and stuff, so I don't know if I was competing against him.
Okay.
But I don't know.
Mainly from like your peers around school.
Yeah, maybe. I guess it's just peers and stuff. Like, I'm very competitive.
No, fair enough. But obviously, you wouldn't be where you are possibly today if you didn't really have that edge. What do you think it takes to have that? What would you say is like primarily made up of having that competitive edge?
Consistency. Not being a snowflake. I'm allowed to say that in today's world.
Sure.
You see a lot of kids these days. They got so much talent, but they're just too soft. Like, when I was a kid, like we'd still be training in the snow. The ground's rock solid. We're still tackling each other. Yeah. But now it's almost like, oh, you're not allowed to tackle each other anymore. You're not allowed to do this anymore. Everyone's a winner, and I think that's the trouble. When everyone starts to be a winner, you get into the real world and realize actually not everyone's a winner. I think that's where the trouble comes in. But yeah, I do think people are a bit softer nowadays. But yeah, not that my family was hard or anything, but as in, like, if it was cold or snowing or hard, my dad was like, we're still going to go train.
Yeah.
We're still going to go to rugby training or whatever it was.
So you think that generation of your parents, probably even to my parents' generation as well, they had that sort of instilled in them to, I guess so, just get on with things and just keep moving forward. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, man, like literally like consistency and just keep moving forward is like the two things I think that is pretty much what it takes. But it's like not what it takes, but as in what keeps me going, or what should keep everyone going is actually just keep turning up. You're gonna have bad days, you're gonna have good days, you're gonna have great days, you're gonna have shit days. But you just keep going and keep turning up, and that's when you get better at things and keep practicing. And yeah, I guess consistency and not giving up too easy.
Wicked. No, I like that. So you said you played rugby. How long was you semi-professional for then? How long did it last, that career?
Since I was just after 17, 18.
Okay.
I think it was in like National 3, and I finished in National 2. Which is quite high. And like if it's in football terms, there'd be plenty of cash in it, but because it's rugby, it wasn't. You couldn't just quit your job to play rugby.
Sure.
And then like now the team I was playing for are now in National 1, so they're doing quite well. Well, they're doing really well actually. I'll be keeping an eye on them. But yeah, so yeah, God, what's that? 8 years, maybe 8 years.
Yeah. And why did you depart from playing? What happened?
I just had enough, I think.
Did you?
I just kind of, my competitive nature, I think I just threw my toys out my pram and I just realized I had enough.
Okay. Like, what were your sort of like frustrations around it?
When they pay you, they expect a lot from you.
Right.
And actually, I just couldn't give the amount of time they wanted. Or no, I had a couple of work commitments. I still own my own gym. I had a couple of work commitments, and I got dropped. But my stats were like the top like position. Right. They were good. Like, so I was like, oh, you know what? The stats look good and that. And I just remember the phone call. He was like, oh, he phoned me the next day and was like, oh, actually, we need you to play. And I was like, you know what? I quit, man. I'm done.
Right. So you felt like they took sort of advantage. Does that happen quite a lot then with these?
Not took advantage at all. No. I knew what was needed at that level, and I just didn't want to do it anymore.
Right. Okay.
Like, it's not the advantage. Like, you're getting paid to do something you love. There's no advantage taken. It's actually just I think. Yeah, it just takes a lot of time. And when you've been doing it for so long, it's Tuesdays and Thursday evenings, like 2 to 3 hours. And because you're a national team, you could travel up to 6 hours each way. So it's all day Saturday. You're recovering Sunday. But yeah, I really respect people that carry on taking a battery. It's hard work. it's not easy, but yeah, it's like you're traveling a lot, and I just kind of had enough, man. I think sometimes you just have to go, right. You know, I had plenty of concussions. One day I remember waking up, I couldn't even remember I had children. I said to Mrs. She was like, the kids want to see it. I'm like, what kids?
Wow,
I just
really?
couldn't remember the kids. I was like, all right, you know, kind of just had a bit of, yeah.
Bit of a wake up call. Yeah, man. I mean, I guess
Yeah,
when as you grow, you expect, well, you should be growing, and your life circumstances change, and then you've got to make a decision if it's worth the trade-off, isn't it? And I think we can apply that to anything in life, I guess, isn't it? I think a lot of people sort of stay in the same position, wondering why they can't get out of their circumstances, when really they just have to make a real logical decision. But I think that's sort of
to carry on doing this thing.
Yeah.
That I kind of lost the love for it as well. Like, I mean, I love like the playing, but I couldn't be asked to train anymore. You know, you kind of just get into that little thing. Ah, fuck this shit. I'm allowed to swear, right?
Yeah, carry on, boss.
I kind of just got into that like bit of a not negative space, but a bit of a like, you know what? I just can't be asked anymore, man. Like,
right.
But you know,
move on.
Maybe in another life, I'd have played for England. Or something.
No, that sounds good, man. Sounds good. So, talk to me about your coaching career path, and how did that come about, and from where you were, like obviously back then, into where you are now.
So essentially, I don't know, man. I just spent like a lot of time in the gym. And I think it's that same thing. Oh, actually, I kind of like. I did a bit of judo coaching as well, and I was like, oh, I like coaching people, or kids, or adults, or whatever. And then I just spent so much time in the gym. I was like, oh, why don't I just like work here? And then the gym was decided to not like allow personal training anymore. So we just decided to open up our own gym. And then actually, this is why I was running late. I was just we're gonna move gyms, move locations. So they're just organized with that sort of stuff, and so it just grew from there really. Like the need for personal training in our area is quite high. So
yeah. And whereabouts is the gym located? Where's the studio?
So we're in Winnersh at the moment, and we're moving over towards Crowthorne, so like just outside Reading, sort of thing.
Brilliant. And it's PTU, is that correct?
Yeah, man.
And what's the U stand for? Is that just
personal training for you, basically?
For you, okay.
All about you, all about your client, sort of thing. So it's more like all of our stuff's like personal training, or like small group, or things like that.
Nice. So how long have you had that studio for, where you're just about to move from?
9 years now.
Okay, so you've been in it for quite a while.
Yeah.
How have you seen it change from when you first started to now?
Oh man, we first started with like 10 grand. I think now our equipment list is probably north of 100,000.
Wow. Okay. And has there been a change in like what people are after, or like the sort of, I guess the problems will most likely stay the same, but how have you seen it, like the culture change amongst the last 9 years, your own culture in your gym?
I'm a big believer in the client doesn't dictate what happens. Mm-hmm. So like they're coming for you for advice. It'd be like you going to the mechanic and telling them how to fix a car. You didn't know how to fix a car. So I think a lot of the actual changes come from with my training, and with like my business partners training, and then people around us. So like when I'm playing rugby, I'm kind of like, you know, giving them a bit more like, I guess, sport specific style stuff. Mm-hmm. Something like training wise, and then you kind of got into powerlifting, so I learned like tons more about technique, and then I'm kind of like looking at like how to break down squat, bench, and deadlift, which works quite well. Then when I was running, you know, just actually like prehab sort of style stuff. I also had my knee reconstructed in like 2015 as well, so like that's like you know, prehab style stuff. And then you just kind of, I think it just evolves for your like training cycles, and then like now still like have like powerlifting on a back burner, but I'm just doing more like I want to call it CrossFit because everyone understands CrossFit, but I don't do any like gymnastic stuff. I like just practicing on like a bit of Olympic weightlifting, still squat, bench, deadlift, and I'm just throwing in like you know, like circuits basically. It's circuit training. But people understand CrossFit better than circuit training for some strange reason. Because circuit training has been around for fucking years.
Of course.
So just basic circuits where I just added more like elements of cardiovascular work, like on the bike. And I throw in some burpees. I rarely do them, but like I've just started throwing them in every now and then. But yeah, so I think it's just kind of doing like full circle, maybe more sports style stuff, but actually knowing more about the precise intricacies of squat, bench, and deadlift, but actually using that to my advantage when I'm doing circuit style training, or, you know, so it's actually, I think the way I evolve is the way my clients evolve, because I'm always thinking what's best for me, but actually what's best for me is going to be 99% of the time is going to be best for my next client. The only thing that's going to be different is like structural balance and obviously diet, but you take all that into account anyway. But so I guess it's just, like, and their outcome, 99% of my clients are general pop fat loss. So we're just trying to get them stronger, move better, get them fitter, and then drop the fat. So all in combined, like powerlifting, move better, rugby training, move better, be fitter, running fitter. Like, so they kind of all integrate, I guess.
Nice. So you literally just took your training experience from all the past years, and just came up with a system for what's going to best, I guess, appropriate for your clients that you want to work with. Because what I've seen a lot in most recent times, if you agree with me or not, what's happening is a lot of trainers are coming out on these short-term, courses to become a trainer, and within 6 weeks and 8 weeks, and when really they haven't got much experience to begin with. And for me personally, I've always trained since school days, and but I also went through the route of doing a degree and doing all the theory work behind it. But coming out of university, I realized I didn't know shit. I didn't know nothing. So, and with all these courses going on in recent times, so I'm just coming off the back of like whatever company, they're just pouring out there. Like all these trainers are getting turned over, and they can't secure clients because they haven't got the experience, I guess, training experience to a degree. So you just highlighted, I guess, how important your own training experience carries over to your business.
It's one of those always thing as well. Like when I look for something or someone, I'm like, scars are always going to tell the tale. If they ain't got scars, then they know shit. Like, how can you tell me, like, how it feels to do this sort of stuff? Like, that's what I say to my clients. Like, I did a photo shoot once, and I'm like, I understand how it feels. I love food. I've always been big, like, and I understand the pain it costs to get leaner. And so I understand all my clients' needs, and I'm like, and I think they would appreciate that. And because I guess through rugby and training, I've had lots of injuries. So when they get an injury or hurt something, I know how to kind of fix it. Like, I was looking at doing like physio style stuff, but it's just too much effort for me when I can just fix it in an exercise prescription. Like 90% of stuff you probably could fix exercise prescription wise with a massage, or unless it's obviously something serious. But there's a lot of times it's just an imbalance, or they just train badly, or they pick something dodgy up, But so through all the injuries as well, it's just understanding how to repair someone.
Brilliant. Just give me 1 second, Aaron. I'm just going to put my charger in. Sorry, 1 second.
Man.
So cheers. Yeah, man. So just through, that's an interesting one, because I've had clients over the previous years, and they've come to me with repeated struggles and niggles and injuries and stuff, and there's only so much you can tell them and try to prescribe them. But at the end of the day, how would you get your clients to just do the work outside of the studio?
I guess you just have to be brutal, man. Like, you just go, look, this is exactly what you need to do. Every time you come in, we're having to go over this because you haven't done it. So, like, you've got two choices. You can just keep paying me and we keep going over this, or you can actually just do the exercises and we can move on quicker. But I guess it just depends on how severe the injury is. But I just had a lady like knee reconstructed and stuff, and she was just like she was not doing any exercises for it. So just had to spend the hour just doing the exercises with her, and like, you know, she went back for like a checkup, and they said, oh, it's really good, it's doing well, but like it's only doing well because she trains with me 3 times a week. If she wasn't training with me, it'd be still be like really stiff. She would have zero movement in it. But like, she's just like, you know, lucky that she has the cash to be able to train 3 times a week, and you know, and actually get the benefit, because she was not doing nothing at home. It'd have been double better if she'd done the stuff at home. But it's like how you get anyone to do anything. They got to want to do it right.
Yeah, they want to do it. Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. Good stuff, man. Let's go a little bit more into your powerlifting sort of experience, and like, how did you get doing that then from the rugby to, did you go straight into the?
I did ultra running after rugby.
Okay, ultra running, yeah. What was that like?
You know what? It's like, if you ever want to get high with no drugs, like, try running a really long way.
All right.
Like, you'll find some demons in there that you'd never even thought about.
Wow.
Like, me and my friend did Brecon to Cardiff, basically. So 70 kilometers is 40 miles. Right. I must have gone crazy about 100 times. Like, and like, when I was down, like just like miserable as hell, he was up. So, and then like when he was down, like I was up. So we like managed to just keep going like this whole way. Wow. on both of us. But if I was on my own, I probably just stopped. I'd have gone like, nah, man, this is enough. But no, it's good fun.
So what when you say that, that's quite interesting when you say that. Like, what experience, what did you, was you like conscious of what was going on, or was you sort of like hallucinating?
Yeah, man, like conscious, but like almost like euphoric when you're up, but when you're down, like maddest depression, like, I can't carry on, I can't do this, everything hurts. And then all of a sudden, like 10 minutes later, your body just does this weird thing. You're like, oh my God, this is great. I love this running.
No way. Yeah, that's because that's not running. Personally, for me, running's never been a big strong point. But recently, I've just been doing a lot of it with different types of conditioning workouts. And you're right. I'm starting to love it a bit more. I can start to feel the benefits and feel that I'm getting fitter. And it is quite addicting, to be fair. Just like weight training, to be fair. Good stuff, man. So you went from the ultra running to
I'm going to throw in there real quick as well. I'm a real barefoot advocate, and I think I did 3 marathons in barefoot shoes, and at the time I was like 105 kilos. So if you no excuses if people have got like plantar fasciitis, all that sort of crap, wear your barefoot shoes. Stop putting inner soles in; they're not worth it.
Yeah. So when you say barefoot shoes, what exactly are those?
Literally just a little, like a thin piece of rubber. I use Vivo Barefoot, which is like my favorite.
Oh, okay.
Like a thin piece of rubber basically between you and the floor. You can feel everything. But on the long stuff, I did wear a trainer with a bit of cushion, just because my like 40 miles, like after a marathon, like it's painful, like it's like real like sensitive to walk. But after the 40 miles, like there's no way I'm going to do 40 miles in them, so I didn't bother with that. But I've done 3 marathons with them.
Jeez. There you go.
Anyway, it fixed my knee, actually, to be fair. When I had my knee reconstructed, like it's something that's not right, and I just couldn't work out what it was. And then when I'm walking around barefoot, like everything felt all right.
Right.
I wear barefoot shoes and like obviously work from the feet up, and actually it just made me nice and square, so my knee was working right and my ankles were fine. But yeah, with trainers, I guess because I'm heavy, like I squash a lot. Like if they got cushions in, you know, they're always squashing which way or the other. So I was kind of like compensating for that. As soon as I put bare feet on, I'm like, it's perfect. So now all my shoes are like Vans, Jordan 1s, or like barefoot Vivo shoes.
Nice. That's quite interesting you say that, because of the multitude of different trainers coming out, cushioned, and then it goes to one next phase of it being slimline and stuff. So I guess going back to basics, isn't it? Feeling in touch with the ground, and a lot of us don't do that. Like, especially if you're doing a lot of if you're like in that sort of 9 to 5 cycle, sitting down in the office and stuff.
Yeah,
you're sort of lost contact, haven't we, with all that? Say again, sorry?
When you start squashing your foot, it'll end up looking like a triangle, and you won't be able to grip the floor properly. So as you look at people's feet, they just can't grip the floor, or they can't even flex their toes. You're like, they're so stiff, and that's half the reason. Like, got no balance. You can't walk and lunge properly because your toes are so stiff. You're going to get injuries through your hips because your knees can't work properly and your ankles don't work properly. And actually, like, you see these physios like trying to sell inner soles to try and fix a problem that actually would be fixed if you just told them to wear no shoes or wear barefoot shoes. That would fix it. Like,
wow.
Well, again, one of my clients who got the same client that got a knee reconstructed, She's like, oh, I'm going to wear heels out this weekend. I said, all right, go for it. See how you feel. But it's not going to work. Then Monday she come in, my knee is so bad. Those heels, my calves are killing. My knees are killing. I'm like, I told you, just stay in flat shoes because your knee's not ready for high heels yet.
Wow. No, that's a good point.
That's a real tough one to get people to understand, because everyone's like, no, but the physio said I should roll my foot. And also, to be fair though, barefoot shoes do hurt for a good month or two, and you just got to push through that first couple of months, and then your feet will be much better.
Wow, that's a good highlight there. That's a very interesting topic. All right, cool. So then we went to running to the powerlifting. So talk to me more about that. What was your journey like from the start?
I guess it's one of those things that you always think you're like the strongest until you go to a powerlifting competition and you realize like you're weak as hell. Like the girls are lifting more than you, man. You're like, no. And then so my friend was like all into like strongman and powerlifting. He started getting more into powerlifting, so I was like kind of coaching him. He's one of those guys who's like naturally strong, didn't want to listen to the training plan, blah blah blah. And then it ended up just kind of doing a bit of training together. Did a few competitions, and I thought, like the same old. I'm like, you know what? Let's just give this whole hog and see what happens. And then just really enjoyed it, man. I think it's just nice, like really dialing in technique. Like, and then I went, another one. When was it? Like 2016, 2017. I went to see Australian strength coach in Amsterdam. So Sebastian Oreb in Amsterdam, and like the price I paid for that has paid me back millionfold, man. Like that was invaluable information. And he's just like, the way he breaks it down, it's just like nobody else. And actually, like, if you need to ever see someone, like, just go and watch him, basically. But yeah, so I went to see him, and then I think, when you get like, he was complimentary about my lifts, which is quite nice. And then, especially from someone like that, he trained for Hathor Bjornsson, trained a load of other like massive power. I think he's trained Sam Bollins as well, who's like got one of the biggest totals in under hundreds or over. No, under 110s or something. I can't really quite remember. He's totaled 1,000 total anyway. Massively strong. And then so I think I just pursued it a bit more from there. I just kind of found out like I was just enjoying it, man. Like just keep going and something to aim for.
Nice. So if you had to choose one, squat, bench, or deadlift, which one would it be?
I'll squat all day, man.
Oh, perfect. Good stuff. So just what's your current record at the moment and now? Where do you stand with your totals?
Well, the last, I guess you're only as good as your last competition, but that was my best competition to date. So that was August last year. So my squat was 375. That's oh well, I looked at it when I did it, it was like 18th of all time in the UK. Now I think it's 20th or 21st of all time in the UK. So 375. I benched 207.5, I think, and then deadlift 330. But my deadlift's always been my weak point. Because I'm quite I got long legs, and I always tend to hitch the deadlift. So my second deadlift of the day was to go for 900 total. And then my last one was just to see if I could go for it. I reckon on the day I probably had another 10 to 20 kilos in there, and I've pulled that in the gym, but 330 in the competition. So
wow, some big numbers. And what category do you compete in? Is it the weight class?
So I'm a big believer in if you're new, if you haven't been powerlifting for very long, I follow this guy. And I really respect his opinions. Mutant Strong, I was like Elliot Page, and he's like a massive powerlifter. And I messaged him. I was like, "Yo, what do you think I should do to try and like cut weight a little bit, like get under 125?" And his response was, "Are you going to go for any records?" I was like, "Oh no, man, I'm like nowhere near the records." He's like, "So what are you fucking cutting for them?" And that was his response. And literally, I was like, "Oh," he's like, "He's not going to get any records. Don't bother cutting." So I didn't bother cutting. I stayed I was 130 on the day, so that's like 125 plus. It could be anything. Right. 130 to 140 actually, 125 to 140 actually in the competition I'm in. So then 140 over.
Nice. So what was the reason you wanted to cut down the weight again? Sorry.
Because I normally competed in under 125s.
Okay.
I've just been eating loads, and like I just couldn't be asked to like tone my diet down a little bit. And I was like, oh, maybe I could just leave it. You know what it's like? I'll leave it a little bit longer. I think I'll be fine. Like 4 weeks out, you're like, oh shit, I'm not fine. And then I was like, spoke to him, and he's like, you know what, just leave it, man. Just. And I think most people in powerlifting would be more beneficial doing that, like staying in the heavier weight category that you naturally sit at or you naturally train at, and rather than cutting and like bombing out all the time. Like, it's like you see a lot of lifters, they're like not even making lifts because they're dehydrated or like they like dieted too much, or just be in the upper weight category, get strong in that. When you're super strong, then start to cut down for the records if you want to take any records.
Okay, so pursue getting strong and let the weight sort of take care of itself based on how you respond to the strength training and the exercise. Eat according to that.
Yeah, well, unless you've got any like body goals, like for me, I'm not too precious about what I look like. I just care about the result.
Yeah.
So I'm not like, I wasn't too fussed about getting leaner. I just wanted to be stronger, and I know to be strong, I need to eat more.
So talk to me about what does a typical diet look like for you then? What's your typical eating day?
At the moment, man, like either porridge or like bacon roll in the morning. Sometimes most of the day I go to Costa because it's right next to the gym.
Yeah.
And then lunchtime is just either chicken, beef, rice, or just put it in a sandwich if I feel like it. I'm not too strict, to be honest, like a protein bar. We just started Human 24 supplements. So I always have their Rise in the morning, which has got like everything, all the supplements in it, because I kind of got fed up with taking all tablets. And then like it's the same again for dinner, man. Like whatever's there, like chicken, rice, beef, potatoes, or like whatever. Like last night I had like a pizza. It's like whatever's there. Like I'm not like too strict, or like if the missus makes something, I'm just gonna eat it. Like the other night the kids had bolognese, I just ate some of that. I think people get too hung up on like these sort of like, oh, it's just got to be chicken and rice, or it's just got to be this. Like, man, like I had a hard training day yesterday, so I felt like a pizza in the evening, so I ate a pizza. I mean, it wasn't like a takeaway; it's just like a Sainsbury's one. I don't know how many calories in there, but
yeah. Fair enough. I mean,
like, for me, I'm not into like. Obviously, I like to be leaner and all that sort of jazz, but I like food a lot. So I'm kind of like, I'm not too fussed if I'm like not as lean as I'm not gonna get too upset about it. But yeah, I just keep my protein high. And then everything else just like works around it basically. So as long as I get my protein in, I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, no, that's something I want to just touch on there, because a lot of people that might be looking at this may have this sort of stereotypical view of a coach having to stay in lean shape and watch particularly, what they're eating all the time, when really in reality it's not really sustainable for anyone, to be honest. All these athletes that you see or people in shape online, it's just they're living a complete different lifestyle. And I think that's what's also got lost along the times as well, is how it's been shaped to think that you need to be extra in everything that you do. What's your perspective on that?
Well, mate, I think half these people, like, no disrespect to them, like, I mean, it's amazing, but I think they're probably verging on some sort of eating disorder. But also like the longevity, like if you're a genetic freak, then that's sweet. Like Ronnie Coleman, I remember listening to an interview of him. He could get down to like 1% body fat, and the doctors was like, you should be dead. Even when he was bulking, he was 8% body fat. Like that's just not normal. But for like the most general population, like I understand your struggle and all that sort of jazz, but I just don't think that, like, I think most people should learn to be happy with the way they look. I don't like all this, celebrate obesity shit, because diabetes doesn't care if you're fat and happy or you're proud of yourself, because you're gonna, like, your comorbidities are going through the roof. So I don't respect that. But I like the fact that they're happy with themselves, but I don't think that's like the right way to go about it, because actually, you're teaching your kid or the kid looking at you to be happy being obese and unfit. So I'm not into that. But yeah, be happy with the way you look. And like, I train a lot of women and especially men as well. Like, they're in great shape, but they don't see their great shape. Like, even when people tell them. So like, I think that's one of the key things from the social media and the like, if you look at Love Island, they're all in good shape. If I was sensitive, I'd be like, oh my God, I can't watch Love Island because they're all in good shape. But I'm happy with the way I look. I'm not like, and I think I know the pain it takes to get a six pack and hold it for a long time. Like, it's not worth the pain. I mean, after a good workout, you can see there's some muscle there.
Yeah.
I don't need to be skin, like
Yeah.
thin year round. But I think that's just social media, the way people think they need to be leaner than they are. Like, for a bloke, I'm more like, for guys, I'm just like, if you've got like definition, like, you got like a little lump in your shoulder, or like you can see your pecs, you haven't got like, you see a lot of guys these days with like bitch tits, man. Just don't have tits. Like, you know what I mean? You got some guys have got bigger boobs than their misses. I'm like, that's just not healthy. So just sort that out, and that will.
Man. You're killing us here, man.
It's true. Come on, man. Like you see guys, they're like, I mean, it's just not healthy, man. Like you're full of estrogen and fat, like, and you just like drop a bit of weight. But you don't have to be super lean. I'm just talking like get under like 20%, or like, whatever, reduce your BMI by a couple of points. You don't have to be, the government's BMI guidelines are stupid. They don't work, but just drop your weight a little bit, maybe drop a stone, see how you feel. I think I can't glamorize being big, man.
No, I absolutely agree with you. I understand where you're coming from.
Also, all being lean, all being super lean, because like I love like Chris Bumstead, he just won Mr. Olympia in the 212. Like he's incredible, man. But even him in off season, he is not that lean. Like I watched a video of him, like, yes, he's super lean, like compared to a natural guy, but he's not that lean. Like you see, he puts on fat, and like how hard it is for him to get that lean. But people are looking at the leanness rather than his day-to-day stuff.
Yeah, the end result of it all the time. But that's what gets plastered, doesn't it? That's what sells. So they're going to do everything they can. Good
Mate,
stuff,
I put myself in hot pants yesterday. That got so many likes. I put something informational up, nothing.
It's always the way, isn't it? That's a struggle. Oh man, good stuff, man. All right, we'll dive into let's dive more into the squat mechanics and the squat itself exercise, because this is something that I'm doing with my own current members at the moment, is just talking about squat technique and just trying to give them some tips and help them improve their squat performance, because that's something that we do in our gym, in our group training. So hopefully we can pick your brain on that. So where do we start? If we had to say, let's start with the common problems that people face when it comes to squatting. What are some of the ones that you kind of identify?
Common problems. I guess the first one is bar position. Obviously you've got high bar and low bar, but you see a lot of people when they first start squatting, like, especially if what I don't like to do is tell people what to do and expect them to do it. So I tend to go, just show me your squat and we'll see how we get on. So like a lot of the time it's like right on their neck, and that, like, they just put it too high and they wonder why it hurts. So you just, like obviously placement on the traps, or if you're low bar, then like rear delt. But yeah, that's probably like one of the most common, I guess, is putting the bar too high at the neck. Obviously squat depth, again, mobility, people that sit at desk, tight hips, tight hamstrings. What else? Squat depth, bracing. People don't teach bracing and core engagement enough in squats, or even do it enough.
Okay. Let's pick on some of them. So let's talk more about the bracing thing, because that's really a common thing I've seen over and over in my gym, and just when people come to me at the start and just go through the motion sort of thing. What can people do? I mean, what is bracing in itself? If you don't mind, just explain to the people that are there what is it, because it's quite difficult to sort of explain. Like when I'm in person with clients, it can be a quite confusing thing for people. So how would you best explain that?
So basically, bracing, just contracting your abs and your deep core, basically. The only way I really explain it is like, imagine I'm going to punch you and you tense your abs. Like, I'm going to punch you, you're going to tighten your abs up as tight as you can to stop that punch. So at the top of the squat, take a deep breath in. It's called the Valsalva maneuver. Take a deep breath in. I say deep breath, it could just be like and then you hold your breath and your abs until you squat all the way down and all the way back up, and then you breathe out. If you're doing sets of 3 to 5, you could probably hold your breath, but you just don't want to get too dizzy. It just takes a bit of practice. But if you're doing like sets of 10, maybe do like 3, hold your and then let it out. Or if you kind of like, you're happy with your breathing, you could breathe in, hold your breath, and breathe out at the top. Breathe in, breathe out. But yeah, so essentially just taking a nice deep breath, obviously contracting your abs and like your deep core muscles, basically. So when you squat, you'll see when people don't do it is they fall forward straight away because they're just not holding their abs enough. They'll just go, if they don't breathe, they'll just like, the bar will just take them forward and they'll do like a good morning squat. It looks ugly.
Okay, good.
Don't breathe out at the bottom because you do exactly the same and you'll hurt your back. But yeah, breathe in at the top, breathe out at the top.
Yeah, nice and simple. Good stuff. Common one again is, like you mentioned, was the range of the squat. And this is something that I've seen everywhere, not just in, my own studio, of people just when they first come, just back poorly, not reaching any depth. But in just commercial gyms, I still see it today. So what are some of the things people saying? Sorry?
The body pump squat.
The body pump. Is that body pump, those classes, right?
Yeah.
Oh man. So basically we can blame those guys for the body pump squat, right? The lack of squatting depth.
Just anything on TV that shows squatting.
Yeah. That's funny, man. So what can people do? Because obviously, like, does it just occur mainly in people that are sitting at a desk, or can it be from, people having previous injuries? Like, what are some of the reasons why?
Most 99% of the time, it's just lack of confidence and understanding how to get there.
Right.
Or being confident to get there. Like lack of ankle mobility. Again, like if you've had a high heel on or a shoe with a heel, your calf's going to shorten. So when you go to a flat shoe, or you don't have a heeled like Olympic shoe, or you're squatting in shit shoes, basically like squishy, you're going to have lack of flexion in the knee, so you can't push your knee far enough forward, so you can't get low enough. Also bar positioning, if the bar's super high or it's too high, for like every couple of percent forward your head is, like it puts I think something stupid like 10% extra through the lower back.
Right.
If the bar's here and your back's like here, you're like, you're putting super strain, so then obviously the strength in the lower back comes into play.
Right. And is that also the reason why people feel the pressure in the back, like when squatting, rather than the actual legs in itself and the glutes?
Yeah, I just think people don't warm up enough, man. I don't think I train a lot of not older, but like, well, I say older, but yeah, like something between like 35 and 65. And you want to live for a long time, you got to warm up.
Sure. What sort of warm-up protocols would you do for a squat?
Walking lunges, single leg hip lifts, clams, but I'd do them the Dr. Lock clams on YouTube. You can find him. He's a Australian strength coach, mate. The clams he does are like way better than normal. And what are the clams? And if someone's like really like struggling, then just putting your foot on a box and driving the knee forward is like a good one, just to get that flexion in the calf. Or like a banded calf stretch where you put it around the foot and push the knee forward. I really love those glute bands.
Oh yeah.
But people put them around I see a lot of people put it around their knees for glute band walks. If you just get a lighter band and put it around your feet, your glutes are going to fire up a hell of a lot more.
Nice.
So stand on it rather than put it around your knees.
Right.
To be honest, one of my simple solutions for general pop is, everyone's going to hate me, but just box squat.
Just box squat.
Who cares if you can squat or not? Just box squat.
Yeah.
Less stress in the lower back. You know where to hit depth. So if you don't hit the box, it's not a rep.
Yeah.
You've got guidance on where to go. You don't need as much weight to get the same response, as long as you're not bouncing it like box. If you're bouncing on the box, that's not box squatting, that's box bouncing.
Yeah.
Like when you box squat, just sit on the box, take your time and explode off. Also great for vertical jump, good for explosiveness. Like I love, like most of my clients that older as well, box squat, because I just don't want to run the risk of busting the lower back just for the sake of that extra inch of depth. When I'm putting the box at a depth where their hips below parallel anyway, they're actually pausing, so they're making the exercise more difficult, and actually they're using less weight, but they're getting much more benefit and the same result, and it's a little bit safer.
Wow. No, yeah, I completely agree with you on that one. It's again, it comes down to the actual overall benefit of doing, like you said, a couple of inches further on the squat. Because I've had it, to be honest, I've had it in the past with clients who've been, they get genuinely strong as they go along, and then sometime down the line they could just like go a little bit further deep, like a bit deeper than they normally would, or something, and something pops, or they hear something in the lower back, and then you think, oh man, that's not a good sign, or that's not a good.
And sometimes it just happens for like no reason. Like I had a girl, she's a great squatter. She's like squatted 60 for like easy reps. And then just like one day, like warming up, like nothing was different. And then she just like twinged her back. Right. And I was like, what? Like, but some days, like, because you don't know all the external influence, like a lot of the time it's from sitting in a car too much, like long journeys, or like one of my guys, like a builder, so he's always like moving stuff manually, and actually that muscle may have got fatigued that day, and you're just warming up through the reps, and then all of a sudden, like, it's not as rested as the rest of your muscles, but you feel rested, but actually, so it's just a weird one actually. Sometimes it does happen, but the box is a nice example where like pretty much it won't happen.
Nice.
Unless you're loading too much and the bar's in the wrong position.
yeah, no, absolutely, I agree. Sounds good. Okay, so talk about some of the common problems. How have you taken yourself up to that level of squatting? So you've gone from whatever, what actually, if you don't mind telling us, prior to your sort of powerlifting journey, what was your squat sort of weight that you used to do reps out of, like, let's say 10, and how did you build it to over 300?
So I squatted, I think I squatted like 245, maybe, I think it was maybe like 9 years ago, while I was playing rugby still. And then to get to that, I did like the old Smolov, but it's Smolov squat programs. Like I wouldn't really recommend it to anyone not on drugs.
Drugs.
Yeah, like honestly, a lot of these kids are like, I've seen a couple of guys, like local kids, like, well, what program are you running? Like, oh, this and that. And you look at it and you're like, my first question is like, are you on drugs? They're like, oh, no. I'm like, how the fuck are you recovering from that much volume and intensity over a week?
Right.
And like, you're not super strong, but you're kind of strong. But you can see why they're not like improving. They're just not like yeah, it's weird. Like some of these programs are like, it might have worked for a super elite if you're like if you don't have a full-time job, you're just eating, resting, and training.
Yeah.
If you're working, normal person, like, mate, you're gonna need to get some good drugs to like recover from this workout, because there's no way that you're gonna get better running this program. Like you might get a few gains, but if you can survive it, that's what I would say. If you can survive it, like, good luck.
Yeah.
Because, the smaller, like squatting 5 times a week and then 4 times a week.
Wow.
At the end of the week 6, I was like, man, I can't do this anymore. Like I was forcing myself to go, like, just to keep squatting. I was like, I need to run it. And I was like, I just couldn't do it anymore. I think I squatted 245. But yes, I was lost to what the question was. I ran away there.
No, just asking about what you squatted back then, 245.
Oh, right, yeah. But to be fair, like, I did a lot of front squats with rugby as well. So I could front squat like, I think I front squat like 180, 190 for a double.
Nice. Do you think that has a lot of like transfer over to the back squat, and any benefits of doing that?
Oh, mate, look, any squatting is going to help. Well, people, I'm a big believer in like conjugate West Side method. So in my 12 months leading up to my biggest squat, I rarely squatted with a straight bar and straight weight.
Wow.
Like, so I really enjoy that sort of stuff. My brain like really works well with it. But yeah, so yeah, squatting, I don't really tend to do too much like of the same bar stuff over long periods. But But yeah, front squat, like core activation in the front squat. You know, when you've done a good front squat, you can feel your abs like deep inside, like not like a sit up, like you're like, oh man, and like you're just struggling to keep the bar up.
Yeah. No, I get that. I get that. I've had it as well. Well, that sounds good. So you're saying in order for you to work, so you just mentioned 12 months prior to your lift, you were squatting 4 to 5 times a day, or was that on the previous program you mentioned?
I don't know. So that was like, God, yeah, like 8-9 years ago.
Okay.
And then so after that sort of stuff, it was just like probably squat once or twice a week. And then I went into like 5x5. And I tried all these different methods online. Like where you gain most of your knowledge, man. Like find programs online and like just run them basically, and then you tweak your own, and then like up to my max, up to my last competition, it was just all self-programming, running what worked, knew what worked. I knew it inside out, like
Nice.
Yeah, so I've run pretty much loads, like 5x5. Oh god, there's loads. 5-3-1, jam and volume training. Like basically, it's just squat, bench, deadlift, and do those many reps.
Yeah. So you generally would keep everything quite lower, or you do like a mix between high volume, low volume, more intense, or is it literally a mix of both?
I just took on a new guy yesterday.
Yeah.
And not yesterday, day before, sorry. And like he's getting coached by one of the, well, I won't say any names, but like a good powerlifter. And then he, like, his first thing to me was, oh my god, I can't even get through the accessories, I feel so unfit. I'm like, because you are obviously unfit. And like, God, I said to him, I don't know what you've been training before, but like this is just like normal for me and my clients. Like, so essentially I'll program your either heavy, it'll probably be a max. If you're a powerlifter with me, like beginners is different. Like I treat, this is like if you've been powerlifting with me for like, I don't know, maybe 12 weeks. So let's say like you have a max effort. Because in powerlifting and in general lifting, you've got to learn to strain. Like that's one thing, like learning to brace and learning to strain. Like you got to understand what that weight feels like and how to strain and push through it.
Right.
It's like it's really hard to explain. Like when you take your car to like the red line and it's like straining, but you know it can do it. You kind of got to take your body to that red line just so you know you can strain through and like push through. So and then like we'll do like speed days at the end of the week. So like, but after the max stuff, then like accessories, like always sort of like 6 to 20 reps.
Nice.
Like I love like some high rep stuff. And if you're on a leg press is always 20 reps. Don't let anyone ever tell you different.
Why is that then?
Why? Because it's a waste of time.
Yeah, why? That's the favorite for most people doing the leg press.
Yeah, because they're lazy, man. So leg press is 20 reps because you're seated and you're just trying to look for blood flow to the muscles. It's technically it's an isolated movement, man. It will have some crossover into strength training. I like it a lot for like deadlifts. It's that like pushing movement away, which is quite nice. But 20 reps always, like, there's no point in doing less. And don't ever come to me and tell me about your leg press. Like, ever. It's like I really hate it.
People be pressing over 300 kilos here, 400.
Yeah. Cool, man. Cool. That's it. Yeah, cool, bro. I don't hate on it. I find it annoying. Like it's one of those like a little annoying things.
You're breaking people out here, Aaron, man. I'm telling you.
I want you to get some unsubscribers.
You're killing people's egos, man.
I think it's great. Like if that's what you like to do, it's always good to find something that you like.
Sure.
But like on a training level, if we're going to be talking about like progressing to get stronger, like it's okay, but but also again, like we just got rid of our leg press and we had like an argument with a lot of people.
Oh wow.
It might be, there might be something flying around. We might get one back, but I doubt it. But like for us, essential, like you think general population, this is what I guess controversy to a lot of people. General population, like stop fucking spinning, waste of time. Stop doing leg press, waste of fucking time. Stop doing anything where you're pretty much seated down, waste of time.
Right.
Like because most of my clients that I see, like if I can do something standing, I will, just for the benefit of like standing up. Whereas like you've woken up, they probably sat down at breakfast, they probably sat in their car to go to work, they sat at work, they come home and they sat on their way to the gym, and they're going to go to the gym to sit on a fucking bike.
Yeah.
Like, and you're telling me your back hurts because your hip flexors and hamstrings are tight, and I'm trying to show you strength exercises, yet you're going to go and sit on a damn bike or sit on a leg press or sit on a chest press. Like it really bugs me, like just only because of that fact. Like if you have a standing up job, then fair play, man, sit down all day, because I feel your pain. Like, but when you sit down all day, don't go to the gym, sit down again, because you're gonna just make whatever's wrong with you worse. Your back's never gonna get stronger. Like, you're never actually gonna get core strength. And actually, I'm sure I saw somewhere through evolution we're like losing our coccyx because we sit so much.
Oh wow.
Like, but that's they're my two pet peeves, is leg press and spinning.
Wow. So we won't see you on a spin bike anytime soon, no?
I do a lot of riding. I got a watt bike.
Oh, you do? Okay,
yeah,
okay.
I used to do a lot of riding, and I use like the concept. We got a concept bike at the gym, and
nice,
so I do enjoy it, but it's mixed in with like short bursts. Like I'll probably do it for like a minute max or 2 minutes, and all the other stuff standing. But then I'm stood up all day if I'm coaching, or I rarely have days where I sit down all day. But yeah, I also just don't like spin.
Not your thing. We won't see any like.
I think people love it because people are addicted to it. But
they are.
You know what? It's just like, I don't know, man. I like nature. Like, get your bike and ride outside.
Yeah. Stick to the roots, isn't it? Stick to our roots, man. No, that's good, man. It's been interesting, man. I really appreciate that, man. Just to round it off, what can we expect from your powerlifting performance going forward? Are you going for any more records, break any records?
I wish, man, not unless I want to get super heavyweight. To be honest, man, I'm getting married on Saturday, so that's what I've been.
Congratulations! Nice.
Yeah, and that's pretty much half the reason why I've just been relaxing training a little bit.
Okay.
Just because it's hard to explain to people, like, to get to warm up to that sort of weight. It takes you like a 45 minutes sometimes to like warm up to like 300 for like 5 or something. It's a long warm up. So yeah, maybe if I feel like it, there's only one thing burning right now, and that's like to squat 400. But it's whether it burns big enough to like get me to do it. Like my eyes were bloodshot for like 2 weeks after, and that was like a bit of like, there's a lot of pressure going on. And it's just different. Like I guess it's hard to explain when, like, I didn't know about it until I went there. So and like the sacrifice you have to make to get there. So yeah, it's whether I want to make those sacrifices. I guess with the rugby thing, if I want to make those sacrifices and it burns hard enough inside of me, I'd love to squat 400. But again, it would probably not even be a record. So I think the record in my category is like 405 or 410, and the one above is like 440. So the best in the UK is 440. So like, and then he's putting on weight again.
Yeah. Then you're going to some uncharted territories there. Bloody hell, 440.
That's and like one of my clients, or a couple of my clients, want to do like, have you ever heard that high rocks and like turf?
Yeah. I'm doing that as well.
Like circuit training. So I'm just enjoying that, man. I just feel fitter. I'm still strong, but I'm not as strong as I used to be. But in my I feel better and I feel fitter. So like my skateboarding's got better, but I'm still lifting. Like the other day, I was still squatting heavy. Like did like 200 for five or something. Nice. So I'm not near what I used to be, but I'm gonna have to. Like I like to, I guess, train for lifestyle at the time. And I don't have the time to lift that much.
Yeah, like you say, it's very time. I think anything that you do take serious, you've got to dedicate the time and the resources for it.
I've got 2 kids as well. So like, have you got kids?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like when you're spending like 2-3 hours training, sometimes you're like, like you feel kind of bad on them, and it is what it is. Maybe I'd be more driven if there's like money in the sport, but it's all like self-funded and all that sort of stuff. But I just don't think like at the moment, like my workouts are either 30 or 40 minutes max. I get a lot of volume in, like just pure volume, like light weights, or like the other day I did like heavy squats, and then I did like a little circuit with rowing and lunges.
Nice,
just
nice.
to get out of the way. Like,
Yeah. So short, sharp, intense.
I'm still getting like sick workouts, but I'm not like stressing my nervous system enough to be stronger.
Yeah.
But still keeping my shape and still keeping fit.
That's it, man. That's it. I think that's important. Like you just said, like wherever you are at in your lifestyle, you have to strike a balance with, managing your business, managing your family, managing your own health, and say, especially for, as men, put it out there, it's a big responsibility on us to keep it moving, keep the leadership going. Something that I've experienced in the last couple of years. What's your take on that?
Yeah, no, man. I think men get a lot of stick for stuff at the moment. It's like this whole like, oh, men are bad this, men are bad that, or whatever. But actually, you know what? Men have to stick together in this sort of stuff. Like, it's okay. It's okay to be masculine. Like, it's okay to like be a man. But like, I think women have a lot of stresses, and men have just as many stresses as well. But we just shut up about it and get on with it. No. Like it's in our nature,
It
like,
is what it is. Yeah.
It's not me being like or I don't know, misogynist. I don't know whatever you call it. Like, I'm not being horrible. It's just not in our nature.
Truth,
and even science dictates that, man. Statistics dictate that. Like we're problem solvers, and I think that's sometimes difficult for women. Like, they want to just tell you their problem and we want to solve it, but they don't want you to solve it. They just want to tell you, but I don't want to hear it because I want to solve it.
Tell me about it.
A lot of people do think you need to be in the gym for hours and hours and hours. And yeah, maybe if you want to be a superstar powerlifter, a CrossFitter, a triathlete, or whatever. But actually, if you just want to be general fitness and do your steps, try and get in 3 to 4 workouts a week. It could even be short as 20 minutes. I did a 20-minute workout the other day. I still got loads of volume in. Like, but actually I think it's designed around your lifestyle. But I think for me, and I guess my clients, is actually trying to tell them that actually it doesn't matter if you miss a workout, just do it the next day, or do a 20-minute one in the evening when you can, like, or just do the start of the workout. Like, some of my powerlifters, I said, I don't care if you don't do the accessories. I'm like, just do the main bit. Like, if you don't have time, just do the main bit, because that's where you're going to get the most bang for your buck, is that first 20 minutes. The rest of it's just like show and tell. Like with like guys, just if you were into bodybuilding, then like do your bro splits and all that sort of jazz. But if you just general pop and want to look good, 3 times a week, full body splits and a bit of cardio or like walking, you'll be fine.
Absolutely. It's just become very overwhelming, over too much information. People get really lost in it, don't they?
Oh mate, there's so much information out there. But that's why I believe people need coaches to guide them and show them, not to like. So I'm pretty open. Like, I'm like, I wouldn't ever like sell any of these dodgy products or pyramid schemes or anything like that. So, but I know there's like coaches out there that force their clients into this or force their clients into that. I'm pretty much like, if my client comes to me like, I want to try fasting, I'm like, oh sweet, yeah, try it, see how you get on. Like, let me know, like, feedback or whatever, or like, if they come up with some product, I'm like, well, you've brought it now, so just try it. Let me know how you get on. It probably won't work, but we can always feedback to each other. But I know there's coaches out there that are like, no, you must be paleo, or you must be vegan, or you must be this. Like, I'm just like, just do what works for you, because at the end of the day, like, don't go vegan or don't go paleo or don't go keto because you think it's going to get you shredded, because you're only going to stick to it for a couple of weeks. Like, you have to do what works for you and what you enjoy.
Nice.
I can't be too rigid about that.
No, I totally agree with you on that. I pretty much come from the same standpoint. Good stuff, man. So where can people find you, Aaron? How can we get in touch?
Just at Aaron Hopkins PT. You can find me on there. Got my little picture of my hot pants. I just put that back up. Instagram banned me the other day. So.
Oh, really? Why? For the picture?
No, they banned me because I unfollowed too many people. I think someone told me it's like you can only unfollow like 100 people, and I was driving and I just unfollowed. I was like, I don't even know half these people. I don't remember following these people, and then like I just kept on going, and then he goes, "Oh, this is against community guidelines." So I haven't been able to post for like 2 weeks.
Oh, no way.
But yeah, I don't know. Do you know what? I don't even think I even followed them. That's the thing. You're like, I don't remember following these people.
Yeah. Over the years, it's random, isn't it?
Yeah. And they banned me for that. But yeah, I think it's like 99 you can unfollow, and then.
All right. All right, I wasn't even aware. I'll make sure I don't do that then.
Well, they think you're a robot, which is really weird because they banned me for that before because I do have an app that tells me all this stuff.
Right.
And I was like, I won't do it on the app. I'll do it on Facebook. I'll do it on Instagram. And they still ban me.
It's still caught, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Oh man, it's been a pleasure, Aaron, man. I really appreciate your time, man.
Cheers, bro. I'll give you a call back and I'll chat to you as well.
No, for sure, man, for sure.
Is this going to be? Is this like a podcast? Is it a private podcast?
Well, for now, it's no. It'll be going up on my YouTube channel that I've started, and then I'll just take out segments and then just upload them online and stuff as well.
Oh yeah, sick, man. Yeah, if you could send me the video, just going to take some captures and voices and that'd be cool.
Yeah, for sure. I'll send you the file anyway by email.
Yes, I'll just share it around and that. You're on Instagram, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm on there. Yeah.
I'm sure I'll follow you. Maybe I unfollowed you.
Probably I followed you. Have a look back, mate. I promise I never report. I never reported. Yeah, it wasn't me, man. Don't have to worry.
I mean, I've always been with you on Facebook, but yeah, I was like,
yeah.
I to be honest, like Instagram is just like just business.
Yeah.
I don't really do too much on there.
Yeah, I understand. But yeah, I'll get that over to you, man, and hopefully speak to you soon. Yeah.
Yeah, sick, man. Thank you very much for having me, and I hope I didn't offend anyone. I hope I did offend someone because then you might listen.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Even you know what I'm gonna say, I've learned so much from yourself already, and it's good to. That's why I'm doing it, because it's good to just keep in contact with other people in different industries, experts, and yeah, I'm learning all the time, man. So, like I said, I appreciate your time, man.
Yeah, man, definitely. It's well worth doing, bro.
Good stuff, man. Take care, yeah.
Nice, man. Cheers, bro. See you,
man. Take care. Bye-bye.